Twitch presents our next big thing. Something long promised, but never delivered. Getting paid for using Twitter. For how many long years have you toiled for free on this God-forsaken site? What a mess. What a shame. What could have been. But now Twitch is here to save the day yet again. You'll finally be getting paid for all your hard work.
Good evening, or I'm sorry, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is where you are, and welcome. I am
that Hotep Jesus dude.
And I have a wonderful presentation lined up for you today, as always. But before we get into that, let's pay the bills. Shout out to this month's sponsor, Syscoin. Syscoin has just released their NFT platform, Luxy. Make sure you guys go check that out. If you're looking to invest, purchase, support, create NFTs, go to the Luxy marketplace. The fees there are going to be way better than many of these other chains, so it might be a viable option for people who don't want to break the bank. What else? If you want to speculate on Syscoin, feel free to do so. I looked at the chart the other day. It looks like a really good chart, relative to what the market is doing, right? If you're a blockchain developer, you want to develop something on the blockchain, check out Syscoin again. Fees are lower than most other chains. Shout out to Menavoda, menavoda.com. Great things happening over there. We're going to be ramping up the marketing on that thing. That is our source for all things men and masculinity, which America desperately needs right now. So please get in tune with menavoda.com. Tell your son, tell your nephew, tell your brother, tell your father to check it out and support. I think Menavoda, what we got? Got some new merch coming on over there. So look out for that. We're going to be launching a store and selling some merch. What else is going on over there? I'm going to ramp up some marketing and start growing our socials a lot more. So yeah, it's going to be some interesting things. So watch out for that. Also, HotepCon, August 11th to the 13th. Again, August 11th to the 13th. Make sure you guys check that out. Come hang out with me. Gonna be great food, great time, great people. Uncle Hotep and myself will be streaming live in studio from the Ahern Hotel. Hotep's Been Told You. As you know, that's our premiere show on this channel every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're usually late. So just be aware, if you guys don't know that, we're usually late for the show. Either I'm doing something with the kids or Uncle Hotep's taking a shit. Make sure you guys subscribe to Uncle Hotep, my partner in crime. The other channels that are attached here, make sure you guys check out Canon Hotep as well. Canon Hotep, that's the homie. He makes a lot of great gun content, so you guys will enjoy that. I'm sure if you're into the whole 2A thing, that is our official guy for all things 2A. What is going on with my hair here? I'm so sorry. I'm fresh off of Alex Jones. I was in Austin this week, and if you guys haven't checked that out, you can subscribe to my newsletter, HotepJesus.com, or briansharp.co, whatever tickles your fancy. And I'm going to send out an email blast today about 1 p.m. It should go out. It's already scheduled. It's already written. It's already ready to go. And a little update on how Austin went for me. But if you haven't watched my segment on InfoWars, I think you should go check that out. And it's absolutely imperative listening and watching material. Now, without further ado, let's get in our story today. A Brooklyn bishop was robbed while he delivered the Sunday sermon, and it was caught on camera. Police say they are still looking for the suspects. All right, let's take a look at this video. I actually have not watched the video in its entirety.
A bishop was robbed at gunpoint.
I don't want to listen to it with sound on. I just want to watch the video. If there's not sound of the actual
forensic,
I just want to see the footage. Just want to see the footage. Why are they showing me all this? Okay, here we go.
All right.
Bishop Lamor Whitehead said that somebody kicked open the door at the back of the room and several men with guns came in.
As I got down, one went to my wife and took all her jewelry and had the gun in front of my 8-month-old baby's face. Took off my bishop's ring, my wedding band, and took off my bishop's chain, and then I had chains underneath my robe. He started tapping my neck to see if anything else. So that means they knew. They watched and they knew that I have other jewelry.
So he says that about 100 parishioners were in the room at the time. He believes that his family may have been.
All right, let's not spend too much time on that, because there's not much there in that video. I just want to talk about the significance of this event. But first, let me pull up the news article. But I definitely want to talk about the significance of this event, because this thing has layers here. This is ominous, this thing that we just witnessed here. Brooklyn bishop robbed at gunpoint during live stream, police say. So this is during a live stream. I guess that's where people got this footage from. Brooklyn bishop was robbed. Bishop Lamor Whitehead was on stage at Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries when men wearing dark outfits with hoods entered the room. A video obtained by ABC News station shows. When I see them come into the sanctuary with their guns, I told everybody, get down, Whitehead said in a video on Instagram. I didn't know if they wanted to shoot up my church or if they were coming for a robbery. The bishop said the men targeted him and his wife, taking hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. The men stole a large sum of jewelry, but the total value wasn't immediately available. The New York Police Department said 3 unidentified individuals entered the location, robbed the victim, and fled the scene in a white Mercedes traveling eastbound on Avenue D, the police said. An investigation is ongoing, police said. When I see them say something like fled in a white Mercedes, basically how I imagine this heist went down was, this is a stolen Mercedes, probably briefly, or maybe even a day beforehand. This Mercedes, it could have been, I don't know, stripped, retagged, but this is probably a stolen vehicle. They probably left, switched vehicles, and who knows where these people are. Who knows if these people are going to ever actually be caught. However, this is ominous. This is ominous. And you know what this, what this signifies? It signifies how bad things get under communism. When not even the church is safe. When not even the church is safe, you know the devil's running rampant. You know the devil's running rampant. And we know these people on the left, they pray to Satan or whatever it is they do. But if you can make it through the Biden administration, you can make it through anything. But it's showing you the streets have gotten so hungry. The prices of food and things have gotten so high that what? That not even the church is safe. That they have to rob the church. Now, there's much to be said about walking around with hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry, and we're going to talk about that right now, actually, while it's top of my mind. Why would a bishop be wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry? Well, this goes back to the 48 Laws of Power. And in the 48 Laws of Power, I'm going to bring it up on the screen in just a moment. You're going to see something here. All right, here it is. Let's pull this up. Here we go. You're going to see this on your screen now. It says right here, law number 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Act like royalty and people will treat you that way. Project dignity and supreme confidence that you're destined for great things and others will believe it. So I think there's something to be said about, projecting supreme confidence. But it says here, be loyal in your own fashion. And people understand this. You don't have to read the 48 Laws of Power to necessarily understand that law. I think most people understand this. That's why people dress a certain way, and people, and I think that's why Kanye dresses like he does now. Previously, Kanye was the type of individual where he wanted to dress like a king. And then usually when you see him, he's dressed kind of bummy now, or whatever. I don't know how you would project his fashion, or how you describe the whole, flight jacket with rain boots and, dark jeans. It seems more dystopian, if anything. Or rugged, maybe, like rugged fashion. So Kanye has transcended Law 34. I myself would like to believe I've transcended Law 34, be royal in your own fashion, but I know I haven't yet. And I do my best when I leave the house to look a certain way, but as you see when I get on streams, just don't feel like doing that. Although eventually you may see me wear some rather bizarre things on this channel to present myself in a certain fashion. But to get back to the point, the bishop understands this. That's why he's wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. He understands that if he can project a certain view, well, his constituents or members of church, I forget what they're called, but these people will donate more money, increase the tithe, the tithing take. So he knows this. And when you flaunt that type of jewelry, you need to have equal protection. When you have certain things, you need to have equal protection. You have to invest something in security. You can't walk around with $100,000 jewelry on with $10 security. Those things don't even out. They don't even out. If I'm walking around with $100,000 worth of jewelry, you best believe I'm walking around with $50,000 security. These guys got to be paid large to protect me. Why? Well, it's all about squeezing the classes. That's what Marxism, that's what communism is about. It's about squeezing the classes. I spoke to somebody in Russia the other day, and he told me that they grew up in Soviet Russia. And it's quite interesting. I'm still trying to work through these things. This idea of communism in my head, Soviet socialism. Well, what this individual told me was they were happy and people were happy. It wasn't until Soviet Russia fell that they said they hadn't had McDonald's until they went to university. I asked, what is the Western influence like when you were younger? And it basically said zero. There was zero Western influence. But anyway, get back to the point. Happiness. They said they were happiness. However, they said everybody was happy, but everybody was equally poor. You didn't have much. Nobody had much. There was a dividing line. And what this individual said was everybody was equally poor, albeit happier than post-Soviet Union. But they were equally poor. However, there was a class of individuals who had things, who did live a higher life. And this individual said these people were usually military or government. Military or government? Military or government? And these are the people in that society that are going to be the upper echelon. They're going to enjoy the finer things in life, and everybody else will be poor and happy. And maybe happiness is a byproduct, but you will be poor. You will have nothing. You will have a very modest and meager life by force, by design. That's what communism creates. So when you have this class of people, who is a lower class people, and they see you have things, and they go, I don't have things, I would like things. Eventually will come take those things. The difference between Soviet Russia and this pastor is, well, Soviet Russia has a military. Soviet Russia has security. They have protection. Soviet Russia is a master of military and a master of protection. So I'm not going to say that these people are right for robbing the bishop, because they absolutely aren't. But I'm going to pull up this tweet here because I love this take. This take is from Nerd Nash, who's been a supporter of Hotep Nation from the very beginning, from one of the first people to ever publish Hoteps in a positive light. But let's look at what he had to say about this video. And Nerd Nash responds, streets gotta eat. Streets gotta eat. So it said, this person says, Sunni in Hotepistan, shout out to my Hoteps. He says, shine is stranger than fiction, B. And that's a very Uncle Hotep take. We know Uncle Hotep is anti-black. But this is more of my take. Streets gotta eat. Streets gotta eat. The streets gotta eat, man. So what is this tweet mean by Nerd? If he says the streets gotta eat, obviously that means the streets are starving. Inflation, food prices, gas prices, unemployment, the looming recession. All of this combined is going to lead to higher crime. Now, who is the higher crime going to attack? Well, what is this bishop? This bishop surely is an upper class. Upper class would have had protection. They would have security. So he's middle class, upper middle class. And who do Marxists hate? They hate the middle class. So what they do is they turn the lower class on the middle class, which forces the middle class to either become ultra rich or you come back down to the poor level. And everybody be happily poor together. Live your meager, boring, unprivileged lives. You will enjoy nothing. I like more of a meritocracy. I like more of capitalism. If you work for it, you should be able to achieve it. If you want to have a certain life, you should be able to achieve it. This is autonomy. This is free will. Communism is this thing about being, happy and poor. Yeah, I don't like that. I want it. Can I be happy and rich? Can I have the decision to be happy and poor? I don't want to. There are many people who backpack across the country, get RVs, live meager lives in the woods. Do that by choice, not by force. Communism will create that for you by force. I prefer capitalism and so on and so forth. But anyway, when you squeeze the middle class, or how you squeeze the middle class, you squeeze the middle class with the lower class. So the upper class is squeezing it with legislation and judicial processes. And the lower class is going to squeeze it with crime and complaints and et cetera, et cetera. But that's essentially how Marxism works. So what you're doing, you're seeing it now. You're seeing Marxism at work. And Marxism is centralization of credit within the hands of the state. And when you have that, let's just say, as it is practiced today, or has been practiced for a really long time. I wrote a book about this, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War, which is my research document on central banking, which is much different than the other material you'll find about there. Some of the other material you find out about there is very conspiracy theory-ish. This is more of a documentation of who said what, when, where, why, and how. And we're going to date this. We're going to trace this lineage back to Europe. We're not doing the whole Rothschild thing. Of course, you can't do this without mentioning the Rothschilds, so the Rothschild's name is in the document. However, you just can't avoid those names. But however, we don't focus on that. We focus on the mechanism, the machination itself, the Deus ex machina, and we zero in on that in this book I wrote. And I traced this thing all the way back prior to John Law, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing I know about when you centralize the credit within the hands of the state, as it is practiced today, you get things like inflation. You get booms and bust cycles that are manipulated. And this is what we traced. We traced the several panics in this document that I researched, including, obviously, the Great Depression, one of the biggest panics in American history. When you see how these things are created through inflation, purposely created inflation, or at least it appears to be, and purposely created deflation, well, it's definitely documented that it was on purpose. Whether it was had malicious intent or not is to be judged. And I'll leave that up to you after you do the research, after you read the book. You tell me if it's malicious or not. What we do know is that these monetary policies, monetary practices, are the exact things that squeeze the lower class and the middle class. I mean, you're completely stripped of your labor. You're completely stripped of your wages. You're completely stripped of your time when you are a victim of inflation. When you are a tax-paying individual paying into quantitative easing, paying for people to push quantitative easing. The result is pastor gets robbed. Now, what else is this? This is also ominous of the attack on the church. The attack on the church. It is symbolic of what we see in our society today, how Jesus is being attacked, how the church is being attacked. And people say, Hotep, you're not Christian. I was raised Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I wouldn't say I identify as Christian today. However, I am a fan of religions. I love religions, all of them. I love them all. However, I have taken notice, particularly, that the church seems to be under attack. Islam is, hey, don't talk about Muslims and this, that, and the third. However, I remember when True Lies came out and it was okay to talk bad about Islam and Muslims and or radical jihadists or whatever they were. But that has switched. It became Islamophobia. And I don't hear anybody attacking Buddhists. Nobody's attacking Buddhism. But Christians seem to be vilified in today's society. And I think that's for a particular reason, which I'm not going to discuss today. It's neither here nor there. But I do think this event is symbolic of the attack on the church. Churches are very important for the community. No matter how you feel about religion, how it's being taught, etc., the institution of the church is pivotal to a tribe of people, paramount to a tribe of people. A tribe of people without a religious institution is a lost tribe. You are a wandering mob. I'm going to repeat that. A group of people without a religious institution is a wandering tribe, a wandering mob. You are a lost tribe. You are a lost people. You will not find your way until you find God or your spiritual essence or however your belief system of people. You will find very few tribes on this planet that doesn't have some sort of spiritual philosophy, idea, concept. So when you see previously on Biden's America, they shut down churches, non-essential. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine telling people churches are non-essential. And I just told you that if you don't have your church, you're a lost wandering tribe. You're a lost wandering mob. You don't think the people in power know this? You don't think they know you need your spiritual mind? And when I say spiritual mind, I don't mean your mind. The spiritual mind is a conglomerate of minds, the conglomerate of minds within that congregation. That is your spiritual mind. If you don't tap into your congregation, your spiritual mind, how do you come back to homeostasis on Monday and go to work? Why do you think people say, oh, black people survived through all these years, slavery, white supremacy, and all that. How have we survived? You survived because of your belief in God, because you went to church every Sunday. It raised your spirits. That's why you survive. They say, oh, because it's our blood and, our biology and it's melanin and we black and we great. No, it's because you had a spiritual essence and you was tapped into it. You were tapped into it. You went to Sunday. My grandma Used to wonder why she went to church, but why she lived such a great life. She stayed in that church. And I'm just wondering how you lived this life. She didn't have such a great job. Cleaned houses. Cleaned the white man's house. That's what my grandma did. How does she do that and stay sane? God, the church. You need that. You need that. Can we clean up the church? Can we clean up some of the philosophies in church? Absolutely. Nothing's perfect, but you can't destroy the entire institution. Right? If you stub your toe, you don't chop your foot off to get rid of the pain. You got to heal it. Put a Band-Aid on it or something. But you got to fix it. You fix the church. You don't eliminate the church. And that's what they want to do. They want you to eliminate church. That's what that whole atheist movement was back in the day too. Making people drift away slowly from the religious institutions. Why? Once you replace or once you eliminate somebody's spiritual ideology, spiritual system, you can replace it with the state. The state becomes the God now, or some other physical machination like money and material things, fake, fraudulent stuff that doesn't matter. But that's what they want to do. A godless people. You're wandering, you're lost, and you wonder, you look at people, you see the debauchery and the lechery in our society today, and you're wondering why and how. It's because God, your spiritual essence has been stripped from you. They talk about how the church is becoming less and less popular. I'm not even Christian. I want to go sign up for the church. I want to just sit in the Sunday pews for a few moments just to support. I just want to throw some money in thing just because I'm, just to keep the thing alive. There's a black church near me. I might go down there and check it out and support. Hopefully they don't find out what my true beliefs are, but I still want to help the people. I might tell them like, hey, here's what I believe. I might do that. I'm like, say, hey, look, I'm not down for all this Christian stuff, but I'm down for your church. How do you feel about that? And let's go from there. But I think we need to support the church. We need that religious institution. I think this event is very symbolic of the destruction and the attack on the church. Shout out to the people that super chatted today. I appreciate you, all 0 of you. If you'd like to support me, you can cash at me at Hotep Jesus. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm here every day, 11 a.m., going live, giving you a random news update, and occasionally at night at 11 p.m. as well. Everyone, I enjoy you. Hotep's Been Told You 2.0 will be recording our show tonight at 10 p.m. and uploading that to our Patreon for our VIP subscribers. So that's our second premiere show that's on Patreon. So go subscribe there if you want some more good content with me and Uncle Hotep. Laugh your ass off. I am Hotep Jesus. I'm out of here. Hotep and Bill. And if you can make it through Biden's America, you can make it through anything.